We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, continuing to fight to hold support here and test key resistance levels. And in today's volatility, our SPY bot at 10:15 a.m. sent out a bear indicator, and from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision. And put options went up 50% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge over the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots, and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. So here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, fighting to hold support above 475 and retesting key resistance levels up here at the 476, 476.80 area. And in today's volatility into the after hours, it is pushing higher. And in today's video, we're going to break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow, what's going on with the inflow versus outflow, and bull and bear indicators. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. So the home run today was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run today was from our Apple bot. Our Apple bot at 9:15 a.m. sent out a bear indicator, and from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision, and put options went up 100% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump into these charts. Here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, continuing to transition from bright green bars to red bars and back up to bright green bars. And if this is your first time coming across the channel, this is 42 vision, which allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, under a bull indicator, canceling out that bear indicator from Friday as we broke it down in yesterday's video at the 474 area. Bull indicator popped up here at 474.20, and it continues that staircase effect here so far within the last several days, right? And it's retesting up here in today's volatility the highs from yesterday, and it is fighting to stay above it in the after hours here at the 476.73 area, the highest level reached in the last several days and in today's trading day. So this is going to be crucial and critical going into tomorrow for this bull indicator to continue to hold true and for those inflows to follow, which we're going to take a look at in just a moment. Now, when we zoom out and look at this from the bigger picture, on the 1 hour, it's been under a bull indicator since down here at the 470.70 area, continuing that staircase effect here so far and doing that full transition from the dip area to the rip area into last Friday and hitting multiple rip areas here of bright green bars in the bigger picture, right? No bear indicator just yet in the process. Continuing with strength, retesting key resistance levels, and holding that bull indicator true here in the bigger picture. I would not ignore that on the 1 hour chart. Now, when we zoom into the volatility of the 15-minute, we can see how much it switched from bull to bear indicators, but the bull indicator is dominating here in the second half, canceling out that volatility, and our bull indicator started to dominate here at the 475.80 area, hit highs up here at 476.60, came all the way back down to 474, got itself back above the 475 area, a crucial support level, which we talked about in yesterday's video. It used it, created that double bottom effect here so far as it's bouncing back up, and it is fighting to test new resistance levels, right? And the next one up here would be 477, which that is something I would not ignore. How it's in this tight range, fighting up here. Will it reject or will it continue going into tomorrow, which we're going to look at here at the inflow versus outflows and what key levels I would watch going into tomorrow. Here we are with inflows on the SPY, the S&P 500 index, staying above the midpoint. And even though it was red, we were watching it very carefully here because yesterday it was getting close to the midpoint, but it was still above, and it was going to be crucial for it to bring itself back up to reflect any strength here into these charts. It significantly started to move upwards into the after hours, hit highs up here so far of 1.51, pulling away from the midpoint and green. And inflows continue to dominate, and that's how things found support here as we see it with that bull indicator popping up, the full strength there on the 1 hour as well, no bear indicator in the volatility, and these inflows continuing above the midpoint and not crossing to the downside, right? Because if it did cross to the downside, it could quickly start to reflect that weakness into these charts, and it didn't. It held itself up. Now, when we zoom out and look at this from the 1 hour, we could see in the bigger picture here how outflows briefly touched below the midpoint on that sharp drop from 476 down to 474, and it created a double bottom effect here as inflows have came back up. But this is going to be something to not ignore going into tomorrow. Will these inflows continue to push up higher, or will it flatline and push itself right back down, right? Because if it crosses back down, it could quickly start to reflect weakness into these charts and cancel out any further move to the upside. So for this to be justified any higher, these inflows need to start pushing up here on the 1 hour as well, right? And it's right there near the midpoint at 0.52. I would not ignore that here in the bigger picture. The 30 minutes above, it needs to keep on pushing higher. And in the 15-minute, we could see the volatility of when it crossed to the downside and it crossed back up. Outflows have slightly began here in the after hours as it's trying to push up higher. A slight divergence there. If this continues to the midpoint, it could quickly start to turn things around here by a possible bear indicator popping up as well in the process, right? So definitely something I'll be watching here, zoomed in within the volatility. Now, what are the key levels I would watch? Well, the first thing is support, guys. If these outflows start to cross over to the downside here on the 15-minute and start to reflect that weakness into these charts and possibly even roll over that weakness into the 30-minute, pulling things downward towards the midpoint, switching from green to red, the first support is the 475 area. If that gets broken through, then I'll be watching down here towards the 473 area, and then below that is 471.50. okay? So those are the key levels I'll be watching to the downside. To the upside, it's going to be crucial and critical for these inflows to continue pushing up here on the 15-minute, to continue justifying any further strength to the upside here, and same thing on the 1 hour, pushing upwards, and on the 30-minute away from the midpoint to continue to retest newer highs and key resistance levels. And the first resistance is the 477 area. Then above that is 480. And then I'll be watching the 482 level. So those are the key levels I'll be watching to the upside and to the downside. And I'll be watching the inflow versus outflows very carefully. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And let's make some money.